Thank God it's Friday! Yay. Welcome to the show. I'm Mariah Afolabi Brown, as always. I never do this alone. I have the ladies. Hello.
Good morning.
How are you guys doing today?
Well, good.
Any plans for the weekend?
Yes, plans to rest. And also, my daughter hasn't been well, so she's been home most of this week. So, and then we'll have the chance to go to the hospital because we had gone to an eye clinic during the week, and she's been recommended to use glasses. Her grandmother said, "We don't have eye problem in our family. If you need to bring her to Jos so that they can look at her properly, please."
As a nurse.
Yes. So we have to go. That's what my mom says. Every time you go to the hospital and they say you have something, she'll be like, "No, we don't have that in our family, please."
Oh, goodness. How you doing about you?
My daughter is already wearing glasses. She joined the club. It's a club now.
How you doing?
I need a hug. Like, I need a big hug.
What happened to you?
Thank you. I'm not okay, but I always like to confess positive. I was in the middle of my coaching session yesterday when I got a call that my daughter was throwing up again. So they had to take her to the hospital. She slept in the hospital with my mother-in-law. That one was like, I got home very late, like 10 p.m. and she was like, "Just go, don't branch the hospital, just go home and sleep. Just go home and sleep." God bless that woman for me.
God bless you.
I don't know what I would do
Ugbo.
without
God bless
her.
you.
Yeah, so after the show now, I'll go home and attend to my daughter.
Yeah. Bele, be all right.
She'll be get well soon. She'll be fine.
The issue of misdiagnosis. So I was talking to a friend yesterday.
Fake drugs.
I was talking to a friend and they did a surgery while delivering and she's been complaining of stomach pain in America, and then they did an extensive CT scan, MRI, everything. She's just been having tummy ache. They found out that she had additions in her intestines. Because she was diabetic, the injuries didn't heal well. Hey. In my head, I'm like, if she was in Nigeria, she would have just died. Because we wouldn't even have done the extensive research to find what was the problem. It's worrisome. I have an inventive weekend though, you know. So 2 events tomorrow. But I'm just praying. We have to keep praying in Nigeria for the basic things.
Honestly.
We pray for the most basic things. We pray that we're healthy.
Do you know
We pray that we don't have a medical condition that will require expert help.
Do you even know what? When I got to the hospital yesterday, I noticed that her stomach was bloated. So I just called the doctor, please, let's check what's happening. They said no, because she had not weed and everything, that they had to. I said, please, I need a scan done. I called the doctor.
Is it a general hospital?
No, it's
Auntie,
not. It's closer to me. She'll be all right.
Amen.
So by this morning,
the
the tummy had gone down.
That's
it was
what
actually
we do in Nigeria. We pray over everything.
No, it's not about prayer.
We're praying for wisdom. Sweetheart, I'm with you in this prayer matter.
Yeah, but, okay.
So, I have a busy weekend. There's Blossom conference tomorrow. I'm going to be there speaking. And then I'm going to be supporting fascinators. There's a lady that gave us fascinators a few years back. So she reached out to me that they're coming together as an association because they feel like the government is funding many SMEs and they only fund you when you are registered as an association of fascinators and all of that. So Millionaires Association are coming together to register officially and launching tomorrow, and I'll be there to support them. And, so it's a pretty eventful weekend for me, and I'm trying not to focus on the bad roads,
I got hit yesterday. My car got bashed by a bus. I mean,
when? How?
I was on my way to. I had a meeting in Yaba, and I just got on Harbour Macaulay. There was traffic. It was gridlocked, and I turned off, and the car just came right at me.
Hey.
Now, normal thing, come down and scream. I just looked at the guy, and I just turned off. Like, you know what? I'm not going to engage in conversation.
Was it bad?
I have to fix it. It's pretty bad. I'm thankful my lights weren't broken. But I just drove off. They're like, the guy was already ready to someone. I'm like, I think I'm going to engage in the conversation.
No point.
I just drove off.
Because last is going to be big. You won't pay. You will waste your time.
Exactly.
Waste your whole day and then...
So I was just really irritated. Well, thank God this weekend... Well, it's all school for me. I'm just going to school. School has started. Yeah. All my Saturdays are just school now.
Skubent.
What's that?
A little baby who couldn't pronounce a student will say skubent. So you're not a skubent.
Interesting though.
It's cool though. I don't have to worry. So I have an excuse for not to go to Owambe's. I didn't like Owambe's. Trust me. I know that.
You did?
I'm not going to postpone anymore, bro. I'm doing school. Because like, I saw all the parties won't go minute. That's right. You go.
Escape.
I don't like parties. All right, let's go on a break. It's Friday. It's lots to talk about. When we come back, we'll look at the papers. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Right. Welcome back. We're going to start with The Nation. Mayna's $1 billion asset seized. EFCC 6 courts forfeiture order. You have the stuff they require.
Yes.
Okay, we'll come to you. Neglect. Buhari begs all rich area. Oh, really? I wish I read Nation. I hope somebody read that story. We've recovered 1 trillion naira looted cash, says Sage. Fashola, 157 billion naira road budget too low. Minister says they're owing 2.9 billion. Federal government, Chinese signed 3.9 billion naira actually, real deal. Rail urges Eagles to batter Brazil. Okay, let's talk about Maina.
So Maina was arrested when he was trying to sneak back to his base in United Arab Emirates, which is where he's been staying. He's been a fugitive. He was the former pension boss. When they arrested him, they recovered, what they recovered, 32 SIM cards. He had UAE SIM cards and Nigeria SIM card, multiple. He had 19 handsets. He had 1 iPad, 2 laptops, 13 flash drives, a US ID card, multiple ID card. He had the UAE naturalization. He's now a naturalized UAE person. His Nigerian passport, bank document. He had charms. Another newspaper carried that he had 29 houses worth 1 billion. Bam. That at a point he paid for his Kaduna mansion with 100 million naira cash. One of his accounts has 183 million naira. Another account has $323,000. Okay. Is this person
How did
sane?
he get all of these money?
You need to be insane to acquire so much wealth.
Right. How did he get all
stealing people's pension? No. You need to be insane.
Juries, yes.
So you need to be insane.
I know. So Professor Isse Sage, I guess, is talking about this money that has been recovered. So he said over 1 trillion naira, a trillion of government money stolen from our treasury funds have been recovered. Right. He says also this is exclusive of cash and property that have been stashed away abroad. And then there's another 500 trillion government funds that have been in hands of defaulting borrowers also that have been recovered. But he says that this money is being plugged back into the economy. Right. It's being used for social investment programs like, the feeding of the school children, and 30,000 paid monthly for youths who need help, and also soft loans without interest. So
are we talking about
I'm not taking that story.
Yeah, so Fashola is saying that 157 billion budgeted for the roads won't be enough. Yeah. He said that currently they have a 306 billion to complete the road projects already ongoing. So obviously we don't have the funds to even complete, so we cannot even start any new project, and we can't complete the projects on ground.
Let's move on to the punch, because we're going to do more insanity here. Budget, Buhari Oshimaji to spend 3.3 billion naira on foreign and local trips. Let's see, gunmen kidnap Kaduna principal, FCT couple and child. Ekiti proposes castration for sexual offenders. Okay, we're monitoring that story. Bus purchase, Assembly threatens to order Ambode's arrest. States won't get refund for road repairs, federal government insists. And Jonathan visits Buhari, Asoro keeps mum. And the roads, you cannot but look at the roads. This is a picture of Lagos roads.
It's terrible.
Yes. I mean, I'm talking about Surulere and Nimashan Road. We're talking about Church Avenue, Koshofe area. We're talking about Lagos Abeokuta Expressway, Abeokuta Agege Motor Road. All that flooded.
Yeah, it is.
And this is the road. This is the despicable scene of our road. Okay, let's talk about
quickly before you go into your own story that you are itching to talk about. Let's do the Ambode.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So the Lagos State House of Assembly, they are threatening to issue a warrant of arrest to the former governor of Lagos State, Ambode, saying that he has to come and make accounts on how he spent money for the 820 buses, which wasn't budgeted for. They also discovered that he worked with about 4 commissioners. So the arrest is for him and the 4 commissioners as well. They set up a 9-member ad hoc committee, and they've invited, invited even the 4 commissioners, which they did not go. So we have about 520 of those buses still at the port, which hasn't been cleared.
Is there an ad hoc committee on the state of our roads? Do we have anybody who are calling?
We don't have that yet.
Yes. That's what Nigeria's House of Assembly. We want our roads to be fixed. Can the committee work on that?
Looking for
please, let's face this road.
Thank you. Out too. Okay, let me depress you a bit. Let me. It's Friday. Let me just give you a bit of pressure. So our president and our vice president will be spending 149 million naira for foodstuff,
Bang.
which is different from refreshment, which the refreshment is 136 million. National Assembly is, actually, refreshment for them is 43 million. National Assembly is spending 136 for their own refreshments. Honorarium for our presidency is 184 million. If you go and visit them, honorarium and all that. National Assembly's honorarium is 478 million. National Assembly will be spending 4.4 billion actually annual routine maintenance for mechanical electrical installations. They have 526 million purchased for phased replacement of their vehicles and spare parts. 91 million for the tires for their bulletproof cars. 32 million for fuel and lubricants. 32.5 million for wildlife and 45 million for sewage.
Mariah, the combination of food and refreshment for the president and the vice president is more than the budget for roads for the entire country. So what will feed them in Aso Rock is more than what will provide road for all of us.
No,
it's 100 and it's
In millions there.
In millions, these billions. Okay,
billion.
So what I want to explain, millions, sorry, the percentage. But I want to quickly talk about the fact that I watched interviews of the in America and how the president, Obama particularly, was talking about how
he had to make personal sacrifices.
The government cannot fund you. So in America, the US government does not pay for the president's food.
And his visitors.
Food. Yes. So the president is careful of his visitors because he knows he doesn't want to feed people that he cannot afford to. But we cannot have a government that is asking us to tighten.
And they are there budgeting
and we are paying for your visitors.
Food.
Honorarium. Refreshment.
We need to go and eat in Nassau.
Aside from their salary.
Use this your leg. Let's go and chop this food. We need to go. President Muhammadu Buhari, our SGF. We want to come and taste this food that you are eating.
We don't want to taste it. Please, just...
I'm not interested.
We don't eat it that big.
You vomit that kind of food.
We don't want to.
We don't want costs on our life. We want to be healthy. We leave you to your costs.
Reject that kind of cost
food.
They
didn't eat the rich food.
Yeah.
The king's meat.
Okay, moving on to Vanguard. Let's move first. Vanguard, inside Nigeria's market of death. Fake drugs.
Yep.
It's really rampant, and it's something that anybody who's a pharmacist. The Pharmaceutical Association of Nigeria says federal government lacks political will to check the menace. Okay, we talked about me now already. Let's move on. How Nigeria's reject became Bayern's pride. FG and China signed a $3.9 billion contract to link FCT with Warri. Sell all forfeited assets, Buhari tells anti-corruption agencies. Jonathan Kim's mom, after meeting with Buhari in Aso Rock. Online media would be regulated, says Lai Mohammed. And Lagos Assembly threatens to arrest Ambodi and others. Okay, let's talk about
fake drugs.
Go ahead.
Yes. So Vanguard did the investigation, and they're reporting it. It's saying that 6 years after we've the National Drug Distribution Guidelines, we still have the problem of fake drugs in our country, and it's the rate at which we have it widespread is alarming. And they're talking about that there seems to also be a recent upsurge. In 2018, they reported that 4.7 billion naira in fake drugs were destroyed in Abuja, Kaduna, Ogun State, and Gombe. And yet, it just seems as if this is never stopping. Right. We are importing fake and substandard drugs. Where we have an open market where anybody, you don't even need to have a license, you don't need to have gone to a pharmaceutical shop. Anybody can sell anything. People are finding it hard to differentiate between good, real drugs and fake drugs.
My daughter had to use antibiotics 3 different times. Because the first one, nothing happened. Second one, nothing happened. The doctor now had to prescribe another one. Because obviously it's possible that we've had...
But there's a way you can find, you can differentiate the fake drugs and the original drugs. You have to send, there's always a code now on the original drugs.
They've gone a step back. Yes.
I usually send messages.
Yeah, no, the drugs have them.
Beyond that, let's buy from pharmacies. You might think that they are glossy, fancy-looking places.
We're talking about pharmacies. Where would we normally buy our drugs?
No, there are different grades of pharmacy. There's chemists and there's pharmacy.
That's what we're saying. The same source. Yeah. Trust me, you can't trust these people.
So, Alhaji Lai Mohammed has said that he's regulating online. Okay, so there are many things, among many things in the reform of the Nigerian National Broadcasting Commission. There are carrying out a little reform, but they now said they want to regulate web TV and web radio. That people can just go online, and he said the terms of reference of the committee will be to establish and publish new regulation to license web and internet broadcasters and international broadcasters in Nigeria. So we're waiting to see what the modality of that will be.
Okay, Daily Sun very quickly. Gunmen on rampage. Abduct school principal, 6 others in Abuja, Kaduna, and Kebbi. Ohaneze rejects Python Dance 4. Let's find a story we've not discussed. FG vows to regulate broadcast media. We mentioned that already. And Senate revisits bill to establish National Assembly Budget Office. So Ohaneze is saying that they're not interested in
Yes, the Python Dance 4, which, so they're asking the military to call it off, that the 4 states in the area that's in the southeast, that 5 of them have been beefed up. The security is okay, the governors are actually working, so they should call that off. And instead of them, you know, talking about 2023 elections, they should focus more on the 3 major issues we have in the country, which is the national security, restructuring, and our declining economy. We have to do something.
Those are major.
Let me just read quickly through the Guardian. Senate defense 125 billion naira budget for National Assembly. When Fashola is there looking for
extra money.
Extra money. National Assembly gets 125 billion. Right. Moving on to Nigerian Tribune. Minimum wage, why it is difficult to meet labor's demand, says federal government. Government abducts husband, wife, child in Abuja, principal in Kaduna. Let's find a story. Recovered loot plowed back into budget to fund SIP. Okay, I know you have labor story.
Yes, so that's the Minister of Labour is saying that one of the reasons they're having issues with the consequential adjustment is because the personnel cost has moved from 1.88 billion to 3.8 billion, and that's the reason. So what they are looking into, if the Labour will let them, you know, make sure that they start paying the junior workers. That's from grade level 1 to 6, then they can continue with the negotiations till they come to a round table, so that those people can start earning their 30,000 minimum wage.
Can we just quickly say that in Kaduna State, they seem an alarming rate of kidnapping in schools. Just a week before, we talked about a school that 6 girls were kidnapped. Gunmen went to this school, although in this case, they took only the principal. 2 years before, they had abducted his wife. And he had reinstalled like heavier locks than the last time. So it took them an hour to get to him. And in that 1 hour, they did what they did, and they left. Wow. And the neighbors said they couldn't do anything. They were so afraid because these men came shooting sporadically. This is in the space of how many weeks that we have kidnappers going to schools. This is really scary.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we'll talk about a leadership program coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, to continue to make sure that young people are actively involved in national leadership, we have with us members of Trinity Foundation to tell us what they're doing to promote young people's national leadership. Joining us is the leadership builder himself, Pastor Itwa Igudalo. That's the founder, and founder Mind to Mind Initiative, Chinasa Amechi. Welcome to the show, madam.
Thank you.
Pastor Itwa, you're welcome again.
Thank you very much.
So you can call us on 070-806-68014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Okay, leadership, obviously, is important in this country, and it's always important to catch them young. What's your foundation doing to ensure that young people actually are equipped for this role of leadership in future?
It's very important. Just a few weeks ago, the king of Dubai, he appointed a minister. He called him the Minister for Disruptive Technology. Okay, Minister for Artificial Intelligence, 27 years old. His job is to position Dubai for the next 100 years. Fantastic. And to plan to take people in Dubai to Mars. Leadership is everything. You know, I could hear you ladies just now, I could feel you. And the simple challenge we have in Nigeria is the challenge of leadership. Yeah. You have to have an inclusive leadership. You have to have a leadership that has vision. Okay, where are you taking the people? You have a leadership that collects the people together and gives them direction and allows them to express themselves. Nigeria's population is almost 70% youth, between 18 and 35. Now, if you have a leadership that's not planning for the young people, getting them on board, and the young people themselves are not preparing themselves for leadership, when that time comes, we're all going to be gasping for breath. So we're here trying to challenge Nigeria to include young people in leadership and to challenge the young people that they must step up on the plate and take their positions.
So the initiative Mind to Mind, what is that about? Let me come to you, madam.
Okay, Mind to Mind is basically a platform where youth are being mentored for greatness. And the vision is taking no excuse, to become who you ought to be in every sphere you find yourself as a young person.
Okay.
So I hear this a lot because we get the opportunity of interviewing many people that are into this space. And I've also had the opportunity of speaking on these topics. And I realize that we talk above people's heads. These young people can't connect with what we're saying, and because it is not immediately relevant to them. So how are you presenting leadership to the youth that you're speaking to in a way that they would immediately see the benefits of making the sacrifice now?
The first thing is to share a vision. Okay, the typical question I ask most people, young and old, when I see them is, how do you see yourself in 10 years' time, in 20 years' time, in 30 years' time? You must have a picture.
It's difficult, Pastor Itua. All you see is chaos. All you see is the reality shows on TV. You can't give what you don't have. So for somebody living outside the country that has an open mind, you can broaden your mind to see, to envision. But all you see is chaos. How do you see beyond chaos?
Can I say something?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm a product of Pastor Itua Godalo. I started at early as 22.
Right.
He helped me to position my vision. He told me to come up with a 5-year plan to 10-year plan.
Okay.
Do you understand? And I made mistakes. He put me through, and I identified myself, and I began to walk in my space. So what he's saying is not far-fetched from him.
Okay.
Everybody has a dream. I'm sure when you were a teenager, you were young, you dreamt of this nice gentleman coming to hold your hand, or this beautiful house, these 4 little children, and this car that you drove. Everybody has a dream. Everybody dreams. Everybody has imagination. That's the most powerful tool. That's what Albert Einstein said. Now, what I try to do is to challenge people that imagine it beyond a nice house, a husband. Imagine it beyond, do you want to be governor? Do you want to be president? Do you want to be a bank chairman? Do you see yourself in a Rolls Royce going through the streets? Do you see yourself attending meetings in UN? What really do you want to see yourself? You must visualize, because what you see is what you become. If you cannot visualize it, if you cannot think about it, you hardly become it.
Go ahead, Mariam.
I understand what Mariam is saying, that maybe sometimes when you come to this leadership, they're just cells, little cells. You come, you listen, but then you go back into the real world. How is someone like you who has been through Pastor Itua's mentoring, how have you been able to sustain what you just learned in a cell, in an environment, knowing that you are still going to live in the world that we live in with the many distractions that you have, and sometimes even at home you may not even get the sort of support that you need for your dreams. How are you able to still maintain and sustain it?
Okay, well, one of the things that kept me moving was things Pastor Itua always, say to me. Remember the child of who you are. What do you want to become? If you do this, what effect will it have on you in 5 to 10 years to come? So if other leaders begin to, inculcate that in younger people, around them, because leadership to me is about mindset. If you can change the mind,
so
you can change. So
it's enough, what you learn at the groups is enough to sustain you, enough to remind you.
Yes, because when you find yourself, when you find yourself in a place where, you have to put in place what you've learned. Okay. Do you understand? You will remember.
Okay, I also know that the role of parenting in what this is about, and how do you just talk to the young people and just leave them to go, or do you have a way of connecting with their parents? Because we have a lot of parents who,
undo the work,
tell you that you have to, are you not seeing that person? That person is bringing in money, and the truth is everybody's fighting for survival. That's the major problem we're having. So do you liaise with the parents as well?
Not really, because I can only do that when it's called for. Because when it comes to parenting, a lot of parents too have failed. And especially when it comes to maybe going to university, once your child, or when your daughter, your son goes to university, he or she is no longer the person that you used to know at home. You know, so that's where, you know, leadership will be displayed.
Pastor, tell us about this event coming up now. So, the coming up this weekend, what do you want young people to do to attend this event?
Youth in national leadership. Okay, what has been happening? Well, just to talk about parenting from the church point of view, we now realize that we need to work a lot on the parents, you know, because the parents have left the home. The home is a little bit empty. The parents themselves, like she said, don't know what to do. They themselves were probably not well parented. So we have to reorient the parents completely, because that's the bedrock for the children. Secondly, there's no society that doesn't have its problems. You know, what the Bible tells us is that in this world, you will have trials and tribulations. In China, they have their own. Even in America, they have their own. In Britain, they have their own, okay? I was listening to CNN today. We're talking about LGBT. That was the thing they were kept on talking about all over the place. That's a campaign slogan. The campaign is either you are supporting LGBT or you are not. About 20 questions on an LGBT. Everybody has their own. So how do we insulate ourselves? How do we protect ourselves? How do we go forward, and how do you have the right attitude and the right tone at the top? And that's what we want to deal with in this youth in national leadership, okay? We're packing together as many young people as we can, and we're trying to first of all reassure them, you know, just calm down. There's chaos all around. You know, they asked Mrs. Obama, how are you coping in the White House? He says, like you're like a duck on water. On top, you look nice. Underneath, you are paddling like mad. Okay? So we want to reassure them there's chaos all around. First of all, calm down. Just calm down. VP says, farabale. Just calm down. Okay? It's not going to crash. It's not going to break. It's not going to disappear. You know, there's God up there. Calm down. Number two, protect your mind. Protect your mind. You really need to protect your mind. The Bible says, guard your heart, okay? Because out of it are all the issues of life. Protect your mind. Whatsoever is good, whatsoever is pure, whatever is nice, think on these things. So we need to really teach people what is good, what is pure, what is nice. A lot of people don't do that anyway. It's our Trinity House, the Zion Center. Okay, that's down off Legalia and Ride, down Water Corporation Drive.
Free of charge.
Free of charge.
Okay, so young people need to come around.
And the speakers are loaded. If I didn't have a busy day tomorrow, I would have been there, because you always learn from being around this event.
Let us know.
Fela Drotoye, Debola Williams, Sami Todo. He pushed the Not Too Young to Run bill. That was very bold. That was very challenging. So we want him to come and speak. Chinasa, of course. She's been working on youth. She has a passion for youth. She herself is a transformed youth. You know, I know where she was when I met her. I knew what she was struggling with. I knew she almost had to leave home. Parentage was not quite there. Came to Lagos and was pulling up herself. People helped her. But good thing about Chinasa was that she was sure where she wanted to go. Like she said, made a few mistakes, but that's life. Mistakes are not a bad thing. Mistakes are the lessons of life. You learn from them and you develop on them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I have to say that I also learned from Pastor Ita a great deal. And one of the things that stuck to me was the fact that these two shall pass. There was a message you sent on that. I have never forgotten that no matter what you're going through, these two shall pass. Thank you so much, Pastor.
I remember when I first met her too. And this is part of her dream.
Yes, it was.
Am I right?
Yes, 100%. 100%. All right, that's all we can take on this. When we come back, Celebration 2019 is starting, and we have an amazing, we have speakers on Monday. I'm so excited about it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So the annual Celebration Festival, which was started by our own Yeni Kuti to honor the memory of her late father, Fela Anikulapo Kuti, kicks off next week, October 14th. To enlighten us more on this is the grandson of Abamieda himself, an artist, Made Kuti. Welcome to the show. So, celebration starts. I'm pretty excited. I'm actually looking forward to Chimamanda's speech. I love her. I adore her. I've watched so many of her speeches. Anytime she goes to university, I'm always online watching her. So I'm pretty excited about it. But tell us, what are the preparations going on? What are the highlights coming next week?
Next week, I think the first and most important thing is the symposium at Necker House. It's on Monday, the 14th, and we have Chimamanda Adichie, we have Akala from London, we have Bobby Wine from Uganda, and Mr. Akin Oyebode from Nigeria. And Professor Wole Soyinka is like our guest of honor, and Sefi Atta is the moderator. It's a panel of...
It's a loaded one.
Got to get there early.
Yeah.
What inspired the theme? I saw the theme and I was
it was
excited.
from Lagos with Love.
From Lagos.
Yeah, it's very much exactly what it is. It's because now Celebration is in 22 cities and 11 countries so far licensed.
So they do it every year in those
they do
countries?
It every year, and they are willing to pay for the right to actually go through with it.
Simultaneously, or they have their own dates?
They have their own dates,
Okay.
I think. And so far there's been one in London and there's been one in Australia. So it's really big. People are...
Fantastic.
I travel and I see random shops with fellas' clothing and outfits. It's really
huge.
So would you say that Celebration has surpassed your expectations, or do you think it's meeting up to your expectations, or would you like for it to make more impact?
my expectations.
Yeah.
I think
or the family's expectations.
for mine, more. But Antieni and the whole panel of Celebration, I think they're doing exactly what they have planned. I think it's to keep getting bigger and bigger.
So I've attended the symposium for a few years now, and every time there's always something to take home. It's an intellectual discourse that I think that we need to get more minds into, maybe expand the viewing centers for the symposium. So is the theme for this symposium the same as from Lagos to Love? What's the topic for this? What are they coming to talk about?
I can't tell you that. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But what I know is with Akala, for instance, because he's very... I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
No, I haven't.
I think he might be my favorite of the panelists this time. He speaks a lot about whenever there's an issue with Black British rights in London, he tends to be the go-to person that they speak to. He's very...
Like Al Pacino, what's that guy's name? Al Sharpton in the US.
Yeah, and he's very knowledgeable about African history, which means a lot to me, because I consider myself a Pan-African.
I can't forget Professor Lumumba. Those are like...
Tell us what's going to happen that entire week. So Monday, obviously, symposium.
Monday is a symposium.
Tuesday...
Then Monday to Sunday, we have music.
Concerts.
Constantly at the Shrine Freedom Park. And we've already had the art competition. We've already had the dance competition.
Yes. And we've had the school debate.
Yes, and we've had the school debate.
Yeah. And I heard that you guys had like 400 requests across the world for people to come and perform. What?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean,
so people are asking to come and perform at Celebration. Please, let's give Celebration a round of applause.
I'll receive that on behalf of
So you guys are able to now shortlist, or all 400 are coming?
No,
not all 400.
Okay.
I don't think so. But I think, we're shortlisting because budget and everything.
Right.
You're all smiles, so I can imagine how you feel. But now this is something that started more like a family tradition and it's gone across the world out there.
Yeah.
How does the relevance is bringing to our culture, bringing to our nation as, Nigerians? How does it make you feel being the, like you're the original?
I was asked this yesterday, and my life is, I don't know what it's like to be anything but me. It's very hard to understand other people's experiences unless I really try and go in depth in their life. So it's good.
But try to open up Celebration to, because they are the regulars. Every year we go there, those who know Celebration are there. But if we're going to be expanding it, opening, what do you tell those who've never been to Celebration, who are thinking, okay, let me even try and go there? What is it going to be? Because we were afraid of maybe smoking weed, violence, really danger. Tell us about the security there.
There are a lot of people at Celebration, especially in the Shrine. It's packed. But we have an equal level security. And this time it's even... we're putting so much, because I'm part of the security team, we're putting, I'm not a musician in this security, so we're putting extra, like, we're buying megaphones because the streets get really packed with people. So we need to communicate better with the audience. More security, more gadgets requiring security, walkie-talkies and everything.
Our cars
very
safe.
It's
Cars
very
are
safe.
safe.
Yeah, cars are definitely safe.
Cars have always been safe. And things don't actually get missing. That's something most people don't know about the shrine and
I've
celebration.
had more things stolen from me at, like, Eco Hotel than
at the shrine.
Don't get missing.
I would suggest you go there comfortable. Don't, because sometimes you go to celebration and some girls are wearing these sharp heels and thinking, listen, you are coming to the shrine. Be comfortable.
Shrine
Come on, they are
as
coming
down to earth.
as down to earth. You know,
And come
don't
and experience what this. Every time any notable celebrity from the Western world comes to Nigeria, they always go to the shrine.
Yeah.
But yet we Nigerians are not understanding the value that that place symbolizes. It is beyond the marijuana and all of that. It is actually symbolizing Pan-Africanism.
But
and
there
knowing
is.
about it.
Yeah,
there is those
I've
ones.
said that.
Anyway, so I was going to say, but you answered it. I was going to say, are you going to be performing? You're not?
I will be.
Okay,
On
as
the
well as
last
security.
day. Yeah, on the
Security.
last
But
day.
because people
After I
have,
finish my security.
there's a perception that everything you take in shrine, if it's water, if it is has a bit of
So that's true.
is that true?
Cannabis? No. There are many regular people that come to the shrine.
And so,
I mean, it's the same as anywhere else.
okay.
Yeah. There's a mixed class of people.
Oh my God, Mariah.
But come on Monday to Necker House. That has no second-hand anything.
Last year, I wanted to come. When I was pregnant, I wanted to come. I was like, Timbarese. I went there. We had fun. Right, go ahead.
When we went to perform at, because I played at Eco Atlantic with my dad.
Right.
No, Eco Atlantic, that beach. Yes,
Eco Atlantic.
So the hotel that we're staying at, I'm not going to say which one it is, it had all these, a lot of A-list artists. And the amount of weed I was smelling from this place. So I was thinking, if there's so much weed in this country, why is the shrine that we think is producing? We don't make it. We don't sell it or distribute it. But it makes its way there.
Interesting. So congratulations again on celebration. We're looking
Thank you
so
very
tomorrow symposium happens on Monday and then onwards just concerts all the way.
Concerts all the way
all
till
evening.
Sunday. All evening.
evening.
Till about 6 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Last of
6
the
in the morning.
And Burna Boy, I think, is coming on Tuesday.
I don't do Burna Boy, but I'm happy for those who do Burna Boy. So those of you who love Burna Boy, Tuesday. Sorry, is Tiwa coming?
I don't know.
because I like that her new song.
Yeah. But she's been there. She's been there.
She's been
there, yeah.
Most of the artists, most Nigerian
Everybody
artists actually
Yeah,
shows
everybody
up.
has been there.
You might not know the
Has been there.
dates.
Davido has been there.
What's the social media handle so that those that can
Reach out.
that want to know what's going on?
It's just at celebration.
At Celebration.
When they're coming. So we don't know which day.
So just go on Instagram at Celebration.
That's a valid
They'll
point.
tell us the day.
You will know the day.
When you go and follow you online. Okay, because we really need to. I like
We'll
to know
update the list of every day, all the artists.
all the
coming,
artists.
all that.
Okay.
Wow.
I'll check if Tiwa is going to be
But
there.
some people come without any idea of who's going to show up.
Yeah.
And they just get
There's a mystery to that.
Tiwa, I'm coming to see you.
didn't say so.
Oh,
She
whatever.
may come.
I have a feeling.
A new song was inspired by
Okay, so if you're a Chimamanda lover like me, please come
Monday.
Please come on Monday, and look nice. And let's show that we are supporting her. She's an amazing woman, doing amazing things. And we need to let her know that listen, you got support from home.
So Necker House on Monday.
Necker House on Monday.
11 a.m.
11 a.m. Fantastic. Right after the show, Zooming. No meetings, guys. No meetings.
No meetings, no
Right there.
meetings. That's the thing I like about Celebration. It caters to the intellectuals as well as the, the regular
Okay, that's
people.
all we can take. We're going to go on a break. When we come back, we have not discussed hot topics in a while.
No, we haven't.
There are some
Today's
juicy
Friday.
ones lined
Juicy
up.
topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. A Nigerian lady recently advised parents to stop passing down religion to their children as it creates fear. She advised that parents to teach their children to face their own problems and focus on things apart from religion. She further compared Africa to other countries and implied that the reason some parts of the world seem to be better is because Black people focus too much on religion. Do you agree with that? You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Yeah, so in a nutshell, are we too religious? Because
That's a question.
People always ask that do we put too much church or mosque or Islam in our children's faces and our kids' faces, and we don't let African kids know how to solve problem. Every issue they have is somebody from somewhere that is the cause of the problem.
On the surface, when I saw it, I felt like I agree with this woman. Fantastic. This is exactly what we need to promote. This is how we should change this dependency on a spiritual power, which is what religion is about. Religion is a belief in a superhuman or one powerful person, and we just believing without knowing if it's true or not. So we ascribe everything, and I think it's a problem in Africa, being that we don't question anything. When anything happens to us, we feel it's God. I can't question God. God made it happen. So I agreed immediately I saw it that, no, this should be the norm, in that we should raise our children to think creatively, to think problem solving, to think of a problem that they face, not as something that is impossible to surmount, but as something that they have the capacity to solve. But at the end of the day, I look at my life and I know that my life is nothing without the exposure I had to the values from religion. So I don't agree with religion, I agree with the values religion is supposed to push. So you're not telling me, become a Christian, you're telling me, become Christ-like. And what was Christ? He was selfless, he had integrity, he had honesty, he was kind, he was loving, he promoted peace.
So when you hear conversations like a child is not feeling well, comes to you, Daddy, I'm not feeling well. And the first thing you do is, okay, every demon that is trying to cause this headache, I remove it. Yeah. Now, you don't give the person anything to ease the pain or ask questions on what caused, what happened to you. Yeah. The first thing to do is begin to scabash. So, now, how are we raising our children that in every situation, first thing is scabash? So, now, is that a bad thing?
Two things for me.
Is it a bad thing? Go ahead.
Yeah, so for me, it's a bad thing. Okay. So that has answered that. But two things for me is that we have so much pushed ourselves into religion and we've suspended our brains where we need our brains to work and think. God has given that brain to us for a reason so that we can use it. He won't come down to give us a table when he has given us a tree. So it's left for us to cut down the tree to make a table and make a chair that we need. God won't bring that down for us. So religion has I don't know the essence of it in the first place. I don't know the original intention of it in the first place, but it's been bastardized so much that you have a problem, and instead of you to sit down with your pen and your paper, what have I done wrong? Where can I correct this? How do I get this inspiration? The next thing is to run to a religious place to pray, and I have people around me who pray year in, year out, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Their lives have remained the same.
Now hold on. I'll come to you. With all due respect to that, you're right. Yeah. However, there are those that pray year in, year out, and they've seen results.
Okay, so now let's compare. Let's compare the countries that are not praying as such, the kind of results they're having and the kind of results we're having. I was telling somebody recently, I said, if you were born in a place like China, would you have, followed this particular religion? No. So our kids have inherited religion as against inheriting what will help them excel in life. I personally have a problem with religion because it's not teaching our children how to think for themselves and be creative. It's not. Everybody is just flowing with, he has said, this one has said, this man has said, this God has said, and we're not changing.
Okay, there's another argument that modern civilization was championed by the church. That many centuries ago, the church, with the missionaries we have, they all spread this issue of the movement of civilization. So at some point, the rationale is that they had religion.
Yeah.
Yes, they've been able to metamorphose into where they are today.
Okay.
But it started with
they
the
used
root.
religion to
The
enslave
root,
us.
Thank you.
the root was religion. I'm just trying to build the premise to the fact that, yes, many are saying that we are in that phase where religion is important, but eventually we begin to change into that civilization, our own natural self. Do you agree or you don't agree?
Okay, so for me, growing up for me, religion played a very important role in my life. You know, a lot of things while I was growing up didn't seem normal. I'd lost my dad. My mom was a very young widow. Things were tough. And I'm grateful for the religion and the part that he played, because I remember then we'd go to church. She worked, you know, many hours at the hospital. So some of the times I used to spend a lot of time in church for catechism class and everything. I opened my mind to so many things. I used to get first prize in Christian religious knowledge in school because of what I had learned from that. So I also, looking at that, her question, I was like, first thing is, you can only give what you know. You can only pass on what you have been open to. So first off is that there needs to be a general re-engineering of how we think in the first place. Then secondly is that the religion that I grew up in, that I grew up on, did not teach me most of this where God takes care of everything. So I grew up Catholic. I was born Catholic. I grew up Catholic. It was the introduction of that brought that God takes care of everything, and you really didn't have to do much about it. So for what I know, what religion has done for me, the part of religion that I know, understood the part where Miriam, you needed to work hard to make it, and God is there to just guide you, and already you have a Bible that guides you. I learned about empathy, I learned about honesty, I learned about hard work from religion. So I won't totally give it blanket no, but I think it's just I think our culture has also come into
based on that experience, the fact that how religion has helped us in difficult times. The other people that live in other countries have gone through exactly the same different,
and came out of it.
Maybe they didn't go through that religious path, but they were able to find themselves somehow.
Answered the question. So how many Christians, if you ask them why they are Christians, how many Muslims, if you ask them why they are Muslims, will not only have to say, I was born a Christian.
Inherited.
So, like, have you questioned your religion?
You cannot.
And if you cannot question, if we create the government is above the law, religion is above the law, daddy cannot be questioned, mommy cannot be questioned. When we create those kind of framework, people no longer have capacity to think and question, why am I holding this cup like this? Why can't I hold it? Why? Think. The problems, what we are consuming as a society in Africa is the solution some other people thought through and provided for the problems they have. So we have potholes in Nigeria. Prayers will not change the potholes. We need to think of the solution. Why are you a Christian? Have you developed a relationship with God? Have you read your Bible? Are you just listening to the God that your pastor preached to you? Or you know the God for yourself? Because as long as you are depending on someone to teach you what you should know, you will depend on China to solve your local problem. We're waiting for China to build the trains, or waiting for China to build our roads, to build our airplanes, because we have missed it wrong from the foundation.
I think religion is has caused more division than bring us together. That was why I said in the beginning, I really do not understand the original intention of religion in the first place. But I know that it's caused more, we see ourselves more differently than us being human beings and being together. So for me, I would want a situation whereby children are given a choice to choose what they want to believe in, what they want to follow. They are given a choice to find that path for themselves. Not, I am a Christian because my parents were Christians, or I'm a Muslim because my parents were Muslim. Give them that opportunity. But the way the society is, you inherit it. You see a problem where people want to change religion, and then they are being cursed in the family. You cannot bring this so-and-so religion. So for me, what's most important, because I have compared the two sides, those who do not have any form of religion and those who have one form of religion or the other. But those who have, trust me, they are better human beings than those who have religion.
But those who don't have, those ones that don't have religion will go to hell.
I don't know about that.
But what I was going to say is that
how was it set up?
It's very easy to make the religion the scapegoat in our conversations, and I would go back to the way I was raised. I grew up Catholic, I grew up Christian, I lived in a Muslim Hausa community, and we lived fine until politics, until culture. Those are the things that we should look at. I think religion came at the time, as you said, for many centuries. It helped to guide us. Religion came when, in Africa, when we were killing twins for being twins, and religion came and helped with that. So many things it has. So many things that it has, that we the good of it, it has brought like a positive. Yeah, right. So for me, that we should also look at the ills that our culture and our tradition brings.
Okay, let me take this call. Good morning, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Hello, good morning.
Go ahead,
Thank
please.
you for holding me on for so long.
Oh, do apologize. Sorry. So it's Mariam and
my name is Olainka. You see, when you talk about these issues, I would like us to correct a fact. Religion is not bad at because it's supposed to shape on the moralities of existence. Yeah. But however, the way we go about it in this part of the world is where we should check out. Because, for instance, places like China that you spoke about, they have religions. Okay. They do Hindu, they do Hare Krishna, they do other things. Those are religions, and they use it well. That's why they are able to invent things. That's why they are able to. Ingenuity lies with God. Take the cases of patriarchs in the Bible, like Isaac. God gave him an ingenuity to create wealth. So you cannot create wealth. So you cannot do anything outside God. And that's what religion should teach.
Thank you, Olainka. There's a point that I want us to bring us back to raising children, because let's not focus on so much on religion. Yeah. How do you raise a child to love God, love themselves, and also be a solution provider? Not just somebody alluding everything to an act of, this is spiritual. This is an issue, an act of spiritual matters.
So I have to go a bit personal. I grew up in a family where my mom is very, very spiritual. Like, let's pray the lizard is sent from Kini, and the cockroach that passed was a response. Right. I dreamt and I saw a cat, and I'm seeing a cat in real life. My mom is... My mom... I don't know, but my mom is in that space where she's a dreamer. I used to call her Joseph. She dreams and it comes to pass. My dad, on the other hand, is very, very calm and all of that. So because I had the benefit of seeing both sides, I made a decision to follow daddy's path when it comes to religion. So when I was small, and I've said it, that my mom, I'm an only child, they made my mom to feel like there's a demon in Ogbanje spirit is not letting other children come, and they were going to beat me. And I did not allow any pastor beat or pray. You don't lay your hands upon me. I was 7 and I didn't allow anybody to do that. So I'm saying that... Yes, I was possessed. And we have people that have and they manipulated religion for their purpose. So I am totally not against religion. I'm a proud born-again Christian. I pray and I understand my God. I chose this. I have seen other religions. My decision now is to follow God and follow his values. And I think that we need to give children that freedom. Don't box them in. Expose them to the world. I
hear you. But I've shared my own experience also. And I think that's where the Christians also come from. That's the angle they come from. Yeah. When I just came from the US, I said, according to my mom, I came with plenty of demons. In fact, as I arrived, but my mother said, because every small prayer, I'll fall down. Just small, not even scabashi prayer. Small prayer. She don't constantly falling down. Mommy had to call her from MFA. Please, we need help. They removed all the excess demons I brought from New York. After that, I became free.
And you were not falling down again?
I wasn't falling down again.
You had overcome your jet lag.
You addressed it. But listen, that's the truth. It happened to me.
That was your experience.
After that, you can pray till tomorrow and won't fall down. But so for a Christian seeing that, they'll say, it has worked. Mariah is not a better person for it. So when a Christian goes through that process, how would you not allude every success to spiritual?
No, so the thing is, you know why I usually go against the word religion is because religion has divided the gods, so there are different gods for different religions. But we have one creator, we have the being, we have the Almighty, who is a god to both the Muslims, the Hindu, the Buddhists, and the Christians, is that same one God. So religion has brought that division to make sure, okay, your own God is this and your own God is that. We have that one God, we have that supreme being, and most people believe that there is a supreme being that oversees everything that happens, that helps you when he needs to help you to sort out certain things. And every other, except you're an atheist, that's those people who don't believe in that, every other person believes in that. But now how do you go about connecting with that? I, for raising children, would give the approach of raise them with universal religion, which is love. And that is what Jesus preached when he came. He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your mind. He didn't mention the name of the God. That is in the scriptures. And he said, love your neighbor. I'm just giving you an instance. That love your neighbor as yourself. So love is the #1 religion that we should look into. So when you teach your children, yes, so you love your neighbor. When you love your neighbor, you won't steal, you won't be greedy, you will do what you're supposed to do, you will be accountable. That is just what we need to focus on, not one church or the other. Yeah.
So about raising children, as I said, I'll go back again to my roots. The first thing you learn is the 10 Commandments. And for a child, when you're struggling with a lot of things, you sort of go back to that guide. Oh, what am I meant to do when I find myself in this position? I still think that the culture has been used in such a way, has influenced religion. So Tope's experience is is very different. I've never seen where they would call a child Ogbaji. The only time I heard that was when I watched horror movies, Nigerian horror movies, and it was not a Christian, it was not a Christian setting. So I feel like maybe culture has been infused in religion, and people are mistaking that. For religion.
So we infuse culture to our own brand of religion in this part of the world. Okay, that's what I was falling down. Let me take Ade. Ade, are you there?
Oh, good.
Are you still there? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. I think we Africans, we need to go back to history and understand the history.
Yeah.
So Europe, we are talking about America, or all those countries, they have history. When it comes to religion, they have a clear break between divine revelation and human reasoning. They understand that divine revelation is there and human reasoning is another thing. That is when they started all these scientific things that we are seeing happening in Europe. So if you go back to history, you read in the internet, you go on Google, you see UK, the Catholics that most of us said they created Christianity that we follow now. It is modeled behind the disciples of Jesus. So, and all the things they were doing before, nobody can even know Bible. It is the church that interprets the Bible to people.
Yes.
So it was when you're having people like Martin Luther, which is German, who interpreted the Bible that people now understand that the Bible has been used for their own gain. So it was Martin Luther that break that gene that people now understand what is in the Bible. They are using tithing on people then. But when people now understand that, they're not.
All right, let's take a few takes.
So Andrew Streetum says a good example is the case of kidnapping. I am trying to solve it software-wise, but I have people who are my age group in Nigeria who are just only praying. Yes, God has given us tools in the head to solve intractable problems. Then Fash says, religion can be likened to a drug in the right dose. It can cure ailments, but harmful in overdose. Africans are overdosed on religion, which is our problem.
Good one.
May I quickly, I wanted to answer Miriam when she said they were killing twins before they brought the religion. The people who brought the religion with a gun and a knife, with the same religion. And they had their own practices outside. They were into slavery, they were burning their witches, they had their own bad practices. But they showed us what we wanted to see, that theirs was good and ours was evil. Africa had a religion before they came here. Why shouldn't we be looking into what worked at that time? You could not just pass somebody's compound and steal a goat. You dare not. Africans had values before the white religion came. So why aren't we looking at what made Africans before the white religion came? So that's the religion. That's the religion I'm talking about. So in order to move away from all the ills we've seen religion bring, whatever religion it is, it's just to teach love.
So from where we are now, considering the reality of what we have now, is a country full of loads of problems. And how do we channel and chart a course for the future is for us to not ask God to do for us what we can do for ourselves. It's for us to start thinking solutions. So yes, you might have been brought up and you are very religious, good. And you might be praying that, like, God apart from when God dropped manners, every other time that people have fed themselves in the Bible, they've had to work for it. So we must start working for it.
So I wanted to change this topic, but honestly, there's something just came to mind. There's a part of the Bible, please help me, that says that a battle must be won spiritually for you to manifest physically. That for anything to happen, you have to
happened in
the spiritual first.
Yeah.
So when Africans have that thinking that I must fight this thing in the spiritual, so I can manifest in the physical.
What are they calling the spiritual?
Yes, the spiritual.
What are
for
they
me
calling
is the
the
mind.
spiritual?
Yes.
The battle every day is the battle of the mind.
The mind.
So when you win the battle spiritual means that in my mind, I have conquered it. So we are now praying that there's a war going on in one place in the sky.
Several levels of heaven.
Yes, we used to think there was heaven, that when you pass through the sky, you go to heaven. But science has shown us that there is no passing through the sky. Let us equip ourselves with knowledge. Let us ask questions. Ask your pastors questions.
So, for example, as we round up on this,
please.
As you change your mind, your thinking, your orientation, if you are go and sleep, you are likely to think of good things. So that time that you were thinking that they are killing you in the dream, now you are,
it's the battle of the mind.
Dreaming that you are conquering.
Yes,
because
so
you change your mind. And once that happens, it now manifests in the physical. So there's not one realm where people are battling and fighting. It's your head. That is your mind.
I think everybody should get knowledge, whatever your religion is. Nima always says it every time, that she sees a lot of Islamic practices that are not in the Quran. And she doesn't join any of all those forms because she studies her Quran. Know your religion
for yourself.
Study your Bible, study your Quran, and know your God.
Another Twitter handler says,
Twitter people.
They're always talking on Twitter. Marriage says marriage between a man and woman was built to favor men, not the women. Do you agree? I'm asking you.
Okay, you're asking us. Yes, it was built to favor men, but I had to take a critical look at what happens down the line, which after marriage, after the kids have grown, how does the marriage survive? Who now gets the benefits of the marriage? And I found that most women actually end up getting the benefits of marriage because then the kids, growing up, the kids see the child, the father probably maltreating the mother. And because the kids are close, hold on. I'm just giving you the general, as in more general. So maltreating the mother or not taking very good care of the mother, so to speak.
And then somebody has been holding for a long time. Okay. Hello, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I just want to say on the matter of religion. I think we are mixing fiction with religion.
Fiction.
Okay.
Most of what we are practicing is actually fiction, not religion.
Okay.
Like you talk about religion, it's something that has to do with humanity, placing humanity in our faces. I have been in the religious circle, so to say, being completely religious, and I have come out of it to realize where value originated from and why we are humans. I think I will just put it to the children, to the angle of the children. Please, let's teach our children to be practical, to reason as human beings. They are not religious beings. They are human beings.
Yes.
Our children are not Christians. They are not Muslims.
At all.
They are not Hindus. They are not anything. They are proper human beings. And when we raise them that way, they think to solve problems. They think for themselves because we will not always be there for them.
To help them.
I really appreciate what you have said this
Thank you very much, Mr. Joshua. Well said.
So I should continue my
going back to...
So I said from the beginning, it may seem like it was designed, marriage was designed to favor women, men more, but when you trickle down to the old age, when everything has happened and now we're settling to retirement, you find out most kids are more in tune with their mother. Most kids
Is that
tend
marriage
to...
or just childbearing?
It's not childbearing. It's from, if you talk to them, they see more of the sacrifices their mother has played.
Okay,
they see that, and
taken.
they are more in tune. They take care of their mother more. And the men start struggling. For those who have not, made plans to take care of themselves later in life.
Let's get a few.
Yeah, to enjoy marriage. See, the marital system in Nigeria, Africa, the patriarchal system, favors men. That's why it's called patriarchal. Because at the end of the day, in most families now, husband and wife are working. Who is still cooking?
The person who can cook these days, yes. Yes, some men
Who is still cooking? The woman. Who is still taking care of the children?
Some men
The reality on ground is the average woman is doing 2 jobs. The men are also doing their hustle. Everybody is hustling now, male and female hustling. Yet the woman is the one who has to still take care of the household. I'm supposed to know how many food, when the egg is finishing, when fuel is finishing. I have 2 businesses. I have TVC work. I have the children's homework to do. Yes, I'm supposed to know that fuel has finished in the generator. And I don't understand. What can the husband, what can the man know?
It's changing.
And that's the majority carries the vote. You know, they argue when you were talking.
Yes.
Majority carrying the vote now is that we still have more households where men feel entitled to provide money and chill, while the woman is supporting and is overworked. So I think that if we don't acknowledge this reality, we will not help what is going on. So let's
I do
deal
feel
with
that
it.
definitely marriages are designed to favor the men over the women. I mean, even from time immemorial, where a man could marry as many wives as he wanted, and a woman would not dare even say it in jest that, oh, I like to marry 2. Immediately you're seen as the devil. Do you understand? And usually when it comes to like things when it has to do with when the marriage also, when they go their separate ways, for some reason, at least in our own society, everything goes to the man. All the contributions that the wife makes, it's irrelevant. That she stayed, that she gave birth to children, that she nurtured her children, that she contributed in one way or the other, is of no importance in a marriage. So it has been that way. I think, though, that modern days, things are trying to change with the introduction of the registry marriage and asking that, the man and the woman are treated equally. And we're still struggling with that. But originally, I do think men enjoy more from marriage than women.
I still beg to disagree.
I want your opinion on this. I want your opinion on this. Because I feel that at the end of the day, this is the reality of many women watching right now. And we have an opportunity with this platform to help men understand that this is the reality. Because men don't get it. Because you will not understand it because you are in it. When we asked Made that, what does it feel like? He said, I don't know any other life than what I've lived. So men don't understand the impact of patriarchy. They just feel like, but women, you can multitask. You should understand. And I'm like, do you know that I've gone to work? Do you know this woman has gone to work? Because you hear quarrel. Someone sent us a message.
It's a scam, that thing that they say to us that we can multitask. They know that we cannot.
They just sent us a message on Instagram. She sent it to Mariam and I and every other person. She said that her husband quarrels with her. He comes back home late and she sleeps off. So by the time he comes, he knocks and knocks and knocks before she would open the door. And my first question was, why doesn't he have a key? Why should you have to be the one to open the door and all of that? Like, there's some little things that the men don't even understand. So this is an opportunity to open the eyes of the men to the burden of being a woman in marriage.
Okay, let me take Hassan. Hassan, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Please, my first argument about religion. Religion is the best. Because religion is about superior argument. Superior argument.
Superior argument. Okay.
Don't think because you're an African, you have traditional religion, that is the way out. No. Whenever something superior comes, you understand, take it as it is. And you should imbibe that culture in your children. Number 2, about the people that enjoys marriage. I am really in tune or speak my tent with Obiajulu.
Thank you, sir.
Because she's being realistic. No matter what, forget about it. The person that is ATM is the real person that is doing the work. And at the end of the day, everybody loves his mother his father.
Yeah, not true.
Leave that issue. It's an emotional thing. You cannot run away from your shadow. All this one that Tobe is saying that you are working, you are multitasking, you are this, you are that. Who brings the money? Immediately, man. Immediately, man.
Depends on where you're talking from.
To drop money, that man has
Hassan, let me reiterate what we're trying to say. We totally agree. Many men bring the money, but the truth is that women do exactly the same. In fact, many women now match or even do more than their counterparts, their husbands. Now, the thing is that after you now bring the money, you are still expected to do other things. Homework inclusive. Go and pay NEPA bill. Go and monitor, they didn't clean the gutters. The gate man has not been paid. All those things are extra things that women would rather have somebody else do. Yes, sir.
Listen to me very well. That is a dream of a lazy man. For a woman to bring money and a man to bring money into a pool is never a wish of any man. Immediately you allow a woman to put her kobo into your house, you are no longer the husband.
It's a problem, sir.
That's not correct. That's not.
Good morning.
That's wrong. That's the wrong.
Let me just say something to Hassan. You know, apart from a woman bringing half and half, which happens now, that's the point I was trying to make, that whatever contributions the woman makes in a marriage, because it's not going to work and bringing money, it's irrelevant. And yet that woman is working to her bones. She's up first thing in the morning, making sure you and the children have food to eat in the morning before you go off to work, before you go off to school. There's a machine that's working in your home. Who is that? What is that machine? It's not just happening. Don't wake up and then your bath water is ready, your food is ready. You go to work, you come back, there's lunch waiting for you. Sometimes lunch is sent to you. Children have to go to school, come back. There's someone that is doing that. But because she's not going out to bring money, then, you know,
you don't feel as valuable. I guess recently I got pretty busy, and I do school runs. I picked the kids up in school. But as I started having so many things to do, I knew that I had to ask for help. Now, a lot of women sometimes don't ask for, we always act as if we can do it. I have to call my husband, listen, I can't pick up these kids. And he offers to, okay, no worry, I'll pick them up.
Is he not doing it?
He's doing it, but the point is that many women assume that role. I'm looking at it on the other side. We make it look as if, oh, we're expected to do this. Okay. But the truth is that you can actually ask for help, and the men will be happy.
I love what you just said.
They're helping you. They're not helping you.
Exactly. They think they're helping you.
They're not helping you.
They're doing the job they're meant to do. It's a family.
But where you've agreed that your own is to drop in the morning, my own is to speak in the afternoon. They're helping me. It's my responsibility.
So, you can't tell from somebody's mind if you don't ask. So you have to ask. A lot of women are not asking. They're sitting down feeling that this is all.
A lot of people are not asking.
My view is even that I have seen a lot of men who do most of these chores at home. I have my parents-in-law, they do the work almost together, simultaneously. You are handling this, I'm handling. Nobody has what one person has. So we have marriages like that. Let's not make it seem like we have marriages like that.
I feel a lot of Nigerian women, because we've been trained to feel as if we are multitaskers. We don't want to ask for help. So you can't ask for help.
Mariah, that's unfair. I know many Nigerian women that have asked for help. We have conversation with Nigerian women that have asked their husbands for help, and they have been shamed not only by the husbands, by fellow women.
Association of women.
You are not showing yourself.
Our mothers did it.
When I was with my husband, I will have 5 children, one on my back, one on my shoulder, one on my head, and I'll still be chopping wood. What are you doing? You're spoiled. It is not expected of you to ask for help. You are meant to do everything, and even in that everything, it means nothing.
Please, women should ask for help.
Our men
ask for it.
should realize that being a woman in the Nigerian marriage is tough, and then our women should ask for help.
It's not tough.
On that note, thank you very much. That's all we can take on the show. It's weekend, so have a fabulous weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.